Hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Emma and I love all things sewing, particularly patchwork, the English paper piecing kind, embroidery, applique, all of that. I love it all, and that's what my channel is about, sharing my love and passion for sewing. So thank you for coming along to watch today. Today is a chatty catch-up type video where I'm going to show you some of the things I've been working on recently and tell you about some upcoming plans that I have. So let's get started. Just before we go into all of the sewing talk, I just want to ask you, how are you? I really hope that you're all okay. It's still that really difficult time in the world, isn't it? I feel like I say that every time I do these videos because it isn't going away. And I know how difficult things are. They've been difficult here too. It's not very good where I live at the moment, so it can be really hard, and I'm just trying to focus on positive things, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Focusing on my sewing, focusing on my family, and that is what is getting me through. I really hope that you have some things helping you to get through this time too. I hope that stitching is one of those things that helps you to relax and to get your mind off some of the awful things that are happening. So I just wanted to say that if you're struggling, you're not the only one. So let's talk about the sewing. So last time I told you that I'd been asked to be part of a book tour by a fabulous author called Helen Phillips. So let me show you her book. This book is called Home Sweet Home Sewing, and it is a fantastic patchwork book. There are so many beautiful projects in here that are so inspiring, and I was so honoured to be asked to be part of the book tour. I've followed Helen for quite a while now, and she is so inspiring. She has a wonderful style, the fabrics she chooses are beautiful, and everything she designs is really lovely. And if you haven't checked her out, do look at the links in the description, because I've included links to Helen's blog that she's been writing for about 10 years. And also to a wonderful Instagram page, so do have a look at those, and I'm sure you're going to really love what you see. The book is absolutely beautiful. Look at this mini quilt on the front with little houses, and on the back you can get a bit of a taste for some of the projects. I really love this pin cushion with the Dresden flower on. I bought one of Helen's books many years ago, before I even knew about Instagram, and she has some books about cross stitch, and some of the projects in here, like this cushion, have some cross stitch included in them. And that's one thing I really love about Helen's designs. They incorporate different techniques. There's embroidery, regular patchwork, English paper piecing. There are a few projects with English paper piecing, applique, so many lovely things. The project that I chose to make is this one. It is the Little Birds doll quilt, and I chose this because it combines different techniques. It has embroidery, applique, and lots of stitched details on top of the patchwork. So that's why I chose to make that project. So here it is. Now, it is a doll quilt, but I'm going to display it on the wall in my sewing room, because as I've mentioned before, there are a lot of white walls in here, and I think it will look really lovely on the wall. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I took my time making it, because as you know, I mostly make things by hand, but I did machine piece the squares together in the first place. So I really made sure I took my time to cut them out accurately, because that's one of the main things that's going to set you up for accuracy, is if you cut your pieces accurately in the first place. And then I really took my time piecing them, and I'm quite pleased with how they turned out. They are pretty well lined up. Another thing that I really enjoyed doing on this quilt was the embroidery. The little birds are embroidered, and they were really fun to do. And the flowers are appliqued on, and they have blanket stitch around the edge. In Helen's book she puts buttons in the centre of the flowers, but I didn't have any buttons that looked right, so I ended up doing some French knots in the centre, and I think that looks really nice. So the whole piece is hand quilted. I just did simple diagonal stitches, diagonal running stitches to quilt it together, as it is going to go on the wall, so I didn't worry too much about it being heavily quilted because it is a decorative piece. And I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I love the Liberty fabrics. They were a birthday gift. I had a birthday in September and the fabrics were a gift. And I also got a new mini iron for my birthday, and I'm really pleased with it, and it really helped to keep everything nice and neat when I was pressing the blocks. And it's quite a pricey iron, but it was a gift. I've had a few different mini irons in the past and I do use them a lot, as you know, with a lot of small patchwork, and this one is brilliant. I'm really happy to have that, and I know I'm going to get a lot of use out of that. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. I've really felt like working on my long-term projects recently, so I've been working a bit on the 3 large quilts that I have on the go. So first of all, I completed another block for my patchwork of the crosses, and I really love this one, love the colours in it. So now I have quite a few blocks done, which is really nice. It's lovely to see in it. It's lovely seeing it grow. I've been a little bit naughty because I haven't done all of the joining blocks that go with those, but I'll get to them. It's just a lovely project and I'm really glad that I signed up to it. I'm not going to obviously finish it by the end of the year, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to enjoy working on that next year too. I've also had some time to work a little bit more on my Alexandria quilt. It's still not very big, but this is what it looks like. I've managed to join the stars on this side, not on the other side yet. And I've made all of these joining blocks. They have little fish there, and I really love this crosses and dots fabric. So it's coming along really nicely. I'm really pleased with this. It's lovely to work on. The pieces are a bit bigger, so it feels like it grows a bit faster. And I'm just using colours that I absolutely love and fabrics that I love too. It's not really matching any decor in my house or anything like that. I'm just making it for just the pure joy of using those colours, and yeah, it's a lovely project, so I'm glad I've managed to add a little bit to that one. Through working on those 2 projects, it got me thinking about my row by row quilt. That was a sew and quilt block of the month last year that I was working on, and I did quite well. I was keeping up to a certain point in the year, and then it slowed down as I started working on other things. I kept going with it, and then this year I was working on it until about March, April time, and then I stopped when I started the patchwork of the crosses. So I got it out and I feel more energised to work on it again, which is really nice. I had stitched together quite a few of the rows, so here it is. It's quite big. There's this top row here, like this, and then there's this row, that's 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th row here. There are 12 rows all together, so I have 5 of them stitched together, but of the remaining 7 rows, there's only 1 row that I haven't started, and it's the very last row, which is the same as the very first row, this blue and white with red row. So I have made quite a bit of progress with it, and getting it out again and having a look at it and seeing where I'm up to made me feel re-energised to work on it again. And also getting hold of this and feeling what it's like without the papers in is really nice. It feels more like a quilt. It's very tactile, it's soft and lovely. It's really different to working with things that always have the papers in. And through touching this and feeling what it's going to be like to have a quilt, it's really motivated me to want to work on it some more. So that's what I am going to be doing over the next few weeks. I'm going to really try to dedicate an hour a day to work on it, and hopefully I can get it finished. I'd love to have a quilt top done by the end of the year. I think it could be possible. It depends how many other things I end up having to do, but I would love to get it finished. And then after that, my plan is that I will stitch in the ditch along the seams, because these seams are joined on a sewing machine, so I'll stitch in the ditch when I layer it up with the backing fabric and the wadding to secure each row, but then I'm going to hand quilt each row, and I think I'm just going to do some simple outline type hand quilting because each row has a different motif, and I think it will just echo that and look really nice. So that's my plan for that, and I'm really excited because it feels like I'm getting closer to having a finished quilt. As you know, I'm never in a rush for the finished item, but it is exciting to think that it could be possible in the next few months maybe to have a finished quilt top at least. So that's a really nice project to work on. Also, something I was thinking of is that it might be nice for me to do some videos about how I join those blocks together, how I applique them onto the backing fabric, also showing taking the papers out and joining things together. I'd quite like to document the final stages of that quilt in some videos, or at least one video. Would that be something that you'd be interested in seeing? It may not be a completed video, maybe even this year, but as I work on it, I might film myself and then eventually when it's done, put all the footage together and have a video about how I completed my quilt. So let me know if you like that idea. Other ideas for things that are up and coming. I've talked about this before, but I'm going to be doing a Christmas ornament make-along with Miss Leela, who was in one of my previous videos, I think 2 videos ago, or 3 videos ago. We both love tiny patchwork and we've decided to do a make-along. And so I've been busy designing a pattern for that make-along. It's not quite ready yet, so I can't share it just yet. But I can tell you that the make-along is going to start on the 24th of November. My pattern will be a free download, and I'm also going to do some YouTube videos to show how to make it, because I think it's nice, especially for people who are really visual learners, it's really nice to see things come together. So my plan is a free pattern. I'd like to do 2 free patterns, but I'm not sure if I can fit it in. But there will definitely be 1 free pattern at least, and a video to go with it to make a lovely Christmas tree ornament. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I think you might still like this pattern idea because it could be used for giving a gift in. That's my little hint as to what my pattern is going to be. You could make it and it doesn't have to go on a tree. So I hope it appeals to lots of people and that nobody feels excluded if you don't celebrate Christmas. So until next week, I hope you have a really lovely week. I hope you fit in lots of sewing time and lots of relaxation time. Look after yourselves. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Goodbye.